welcome to the Obi-Thorn Alliance. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Luke.
And in today's video, we are reviewing and breaking down Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Disney Plus Limited series. If you like different opinions, I am a person on the autism spectrum.
And I'll be giving the opinion of someone who's not. If you like our videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll be bringing out new content and we'll be continuing this recap and breakdown of the Obi-Wan series as it continues. So as Jacob mentioned, we're going to be doing part 1 and 2 today, which have got released on the weekend. And summarise it for us. What have we got so far from the 2 episodes and what are we looking forward to seeing?
Basically, to summarise, is that this show is 10 years after the Revenge of the Sith, and basically at this point, Obi-Wan Kenobi has taken a different identity as Ben, and he's watching after Luke, and he's living every day-to-day life. He's basically working, cutting up different meat and different supplies, what I think is really cool. And then we're seeing a different aspect of what it's like being a Jedi, not being these powerful beings. He's kind of has a different perspective. He's a wounded soul. He's not as strong. He's weak. And then the Grand Inquisitors are after him. They're hunting him down. And then we also get introduced to the Grand Inquisitor, the third sister named Raven, and then the 5th brother that are on Tatooine trying to hunt down Jedi.
So if you don't already know this, Jacob is a massive fan of Star Wars. I like Star Wars, but I don't have the same extensive knowledge as Jacob does. But I really enjoyed what I've seen so far. If you've seen our other videos, have not enjoyed The Mandalorian and did not watch the Book of Boba Fett. But this show, I said that I would watch it, and I've really liked it so far. And I said to Jacob that I think it's because it involves a character that I like in Obi-Wan. And it involves, other main characters like young Luke Skywalker. We're getting a story behind young Princess Leia, which is really cool. And we're going to see, the transition of Anakin into Darth Vader. And we've already seen a glimpse of him through the 2 episodes. And I believe through the trailer we saw that there will be a fight scene where he's in the full costume. So, it's for those that aren't mega fans, I think it's appealing. So if you're a mega fan, you're going to love it. If you're not, I think you're still going to like it because it's like episode 3.5 we were saying before. It really, I think it's going to fill in a lot of the gaps between what happens in episode 3 and then what happens in episode 4, The New Hope. I think it's going to fill in those gaps. And then to add on to that, I guess if you watch the Clone Wars, you'd probably even have more extensive knowledge, but you can escape without having seen those, because I haven't seen them.
Yeah.
What did you really like about it from someone that's a big fan of Star Wars?
I really enjoyed, like I said, seeing a different aspect of Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's a wounded soul. Really enjoyed the atmosphere of Tatooine and seeing... wasn't expecting seeing Princess Leia, but really enjoyed seeing her and just different, it's been so long since we have watched anything about the prequels, and I think it was really amazing to see, and I think it's really high quality. There are some things that I don't like as much, but I think it's a different sort of show because it's really the Jedi I wanted, but Obi-Wan doesn't want to use the Force because that's like his kryptonite. Well, it used to be his superpower in a way, but now it's his kryptonite. So it's a really cool thing to kind of think about. It's a different sort of storytelling.
Yeah, and it gives a lot of depth to what happens in the New Hope, like the fact of why did Princess Leia need Obi-Wan? Why was he her only hope? Like, well, we know now because her parents did the same thing for when she gets abducted in this, and he obviously saves her, and then she has a trust and faith in him. We get to see where she gets her, like her cheekiness and playfulness that we see when she gets older. We also really playing the importance of, Jedis had to go into hiding, which kind of amplifies why Yoda goes into hiding and why it's so much difficulty for Luke to then eventually find him and receive his Jedi training. Like that, it's not a good place to be a Jedi. That Jedis have to be hiding in this galaxy because they are hunted, and that's not really explored through the movies that are out so far.
No.
So it really builds up that and makes the following movies even more exciting.
And did you like the Grand Inquisitors? I know you didn't know much about them.
Yeah, I had an understanding of what they kind of were, but I was more confused about the names, like why there's the Grand Inquisitor and why there's the second or third sister and the fifth brother and why they had such names. But I guess ultimately the names are just names, they're not important. But yeah, the fact that they had ultimately received Jedi training and were Jedis, but had changed their alliance to,
the dark side.
Either through fear or promise of power, or whether they actually believed in what the dark side was trying to achieve. So yeah, that's quite cool. I don't know if some of them will change their allegiance to help Obi-Wan through these series, possibly. But again, that kind of, it helps build onto what happens in the next set of movies. So yeah, it's I quite like that. Did you enjoy the I can't think of the name of the actor, but from the Eternals, the Pakistani American actor who is pretending to be a Jedi? Did you think that was a cool cameo to add?
Yeah, it was cool for comedy relief. You kind of think he's taking advantage of people, and then he has a redemption arc. Like, he's the sort of person that times are tough, but he does the right thing.
Yeah, so he helps people out, but he does profit along the way, where I guess Jedis probably wouldn't do that. They would help for the sake of helping, but the world you live in, that maybe you need to sometimes make a bit of money to get by. So it was quite cool to see him. Given that Jedis are hunted, I'm surprised that he wants to pretend to be a Jedi. Like, he might get himself killed by doing that. What did you think about this whole idea of when Leia said, "Oh, well, if you're a Jedi, you could, use the Force and make me float or fly," and then ultimately he then does that to save her? Did you buy that? You really think he could have, saved her in that way?
I thought it was risky that she wanted him to do that, but I think it took him a while, and you could see that's why it was a powerful scene, because he hadn't used those powers for such a long time. So I thought it was, I guess it depends, because when you don't use something for a while, you've got to get your muscles and your body used to using it again. And I think it was annoying that she spilt the dummy at that time, because basically if she was cool and realised that it's, she could have waited until they actually got her safe to Bail Organa and to Alderaan. But instead it's like, "Oh, show me now. Oh, I can't trust you. You're wanted." It's like, well, if he wasn't wanted because he wasn't a Jedi, he wouldn't be wanted.
Do you think we're going to see any other cameos in this?
Besides Darth Vader, maybe Cody, who's the other clone trooper, and maybe Cad Bane.
You think there's a likelihood that we might see a young can't think he's Harrison Ford's character,
Han Solo?
Yeah, you think it's a possibility they might cross paths with him?
Maybe, yeah.
I feel it's probably unlikely, but I guess it's possible. Like, maybe they go to a planet, and then they see him, and he's like this young cheeky guy that's taking money from people off the street or doing something mischievous. That might be cool, but maybe that might be pushing it though. To try and add a cameo, you might be extending the actual possibility of what this what would actually happen.
Mm.
What do you think's going to happen through the remainder of the episodes?
I would assume it might start off with Darth Vader since it ended with him, and then we'll get his feelings and how he felt about getting burnt by the fire and just his motives and him wanting to hunt Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know if the Thai episode will be about Darth Vader because it is the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, but I would assume we'll be seeing more of Darth Vader.
Yeah, I think so as well, which will be quite cool because Star Wars is interesting how it's written. You know, it's kind of written back to front. You know, you made the first 3 released movies actually technically become the middle part of the series, and you know they they've kind of gone backwards. So they've created this Darth Vader, and with the impression that you know he's burnt and you know he's gone through something, but I don't know if George Lucas actually knew why. Until later on, then they write it in. So now it's kind of cool to see what happens in that gap in between of what he did and how he recuperated to actually require the suit. So I'm looking forward to that. Do you think we're going to have any interactions with young Luke Skywalker, or do you just see him from a distance?
Might see him from a distance, but I would like to hope so. But Ben doesn't meet Luke until the New Hope, so
yeah, I can't imagine they'll have an interaction, or even if they did, if he's a young kid, maybe he just won't remember it. So he might save him or something, and then he doesn't say who he is. Do you think that at some point Obi-Wan will return back to his job and you know seek justice for those that are getting ripped off by the boss?
I think so.
I feel like once he's had he's no longer living in fear as a Jedi, maybe he might go and do something about that because the boss was ripping up people and giving them half their pay.
I feel like that's why I put that there if that's not going to amount to anything. I think the main plot hole that I said that I don't like so far is the Raven character, the third sister. And the cool flashback scene of Order 66, we actually get introduced to these younglings, and we get these 2 clone troopers, and the Master dies, and I assume one of the younglings is her, and she just has this hatred towards Obi-Wan Kenobi, and she feels entitled, but she knows so much information, and then she doesn't. If she got the information out of Uncle Owen, the show would be over. Yeah,
that's my thought. I thought she was going to be a youngling, or someone will be, and that will kind of link them in. So, yeah, but they obviously then get, instead of being killed, they get taken in and get their training from the dark side of the Force, opposed to, you know, the good side. So, yeah, there's lots of things to look forward to. Not too many issues with the show from someone that's not a super fan. I'm just purely enjoying it, and you know, it's for 2 episodes so far, it's quite epic and really built itself nicely.
Yeah. Like I said, I think the Raven, just how she knows so much information. She knew where Leia was, even though the Emperor doesn't know or Darth Vader doesn't know. She somehow knows that Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader, even though no one else knows besides the Emperor. She knows so much information, even though other people don't. It actually doesn't make sense.
So I guess we're going to get a bit more of a story to her, maybe in her own episode or something.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
I think overall this is an amazing show. I think being a limited series helps as well because it won't drag out. I think what they'll do is make a show about a different character, and that's how they'll continue the story. I really enjoyed that it actually isn't going to be on Tatooine the entire time, and that we get to see Obi-Wan go to different planets. And do you think that's a better move for the show, that it's just not going to be on Tatooine for the...
No, it's cool that we get to see other planets ultimately, and you know, some of the planets will probably be new, and some are going to be, known to Star Wars fans, and maybe, that's kind of the thing you're looking forward to seeing these planets again. So
I do think it was silly that the hitman or bounty hunters found it so challenging to like get Leia. It's like, why was it so hard?
yeah, like they couldn't catch it. The whole running thing in Star Wars is a bit funny. Like, even when you see that Raven character going between buildings, like, it's never normal running. They like swap between like running and floating and doing backflips. It's like, it's just a really odd style. Does the Force allow you to run different? Like, I don't know. Like, I would have thought you would just sprint, and then if you needed to jump over something, you would kind of go, oh, I'll now fly. But instead, they're like, just swap between when they want to do it, and it just doesn't seem. I feel like they could run quicker if they ran normal.
So you're definitely going to continue?
Oh, yeah, for sure I'll continue with it.
Definitely looking forward to episode 3. I think the final verdicts are going to be very high, within at least 80 or 90%.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I'm looking forward to the next episode coming out.
We'll see you in that video. Let the Force be with you. Like and subscribe. Bye-bye.